Hello, my name is Justin Beall, and today what I want to try to do is create a front end for the Assistify app that I've been working on. This is a web-based application that connects users to OpenAI assistance. I have a backend already deployed to fly.io that is just a hello world application. And today I'd like to set up Next.js deployed to Vercel, and we're going to see how long that takes and what obstacles we get along the way. Let's get started. I'm going to open up my project, and we're using Cursor.sh for this. And I'm just going to ask it, I create a Next.js application and deploy it to Vercel. I want it to be in a directory called Assistify-UI. It's given us a little bit of help here. It says to create a Next.js application, deploy it to Vercel, follow these steps, create the application, already have Node. We'll follow through this, initialize a Git repository, we're already in one, and then we're going to deploy to Vercel, log into Vercel, I don't have that, so that'll be fun, and then deploy the application. Set up continuous deployment, that looks cool. Let's go ahead and do that. Starting from our project root directory, we're going to run that command. All right. And let's see. Yes, I would like to use TypeScript. Yes, I would like to use ESLint. Yes, I would like Tailwind. That sounds cool. A source directory would be nice. Okay, app router. I don't want to customize the default import alias. And with that, it seems to have created the application. Let's see what it made. If we poke around a little bit, we can see this looks like a typical React style application. It's got a dev, a build, a start, lint. This is a good start. Let's change directory over here and just make sure that the app can start. So I'm going to go into our Assistify UI that it created, and I'm going to say yarn dev. Started on localhost 3000. Let's see what that looks like. This looks like a pretty typical Hello World Next.js application. Fantastic. So now that we have that, let's see what else our AI assistant said to do. It already is in a Git repo. It's saying to globally install Vercel. Let's run that command real quick. Now that Vercel is in, we're going to call Vercel login, which I don't have a account yet. So let's go over to Vercel and actually try to register an account. Sign up. I'm a hobby. My name is Justin Beall. Let's continue with GitHub, authenticating. All right, and it finished up. Let's try running those commands and seeing what happens. So if I say Vercel login, let's continue with GitHub. Login successful. All right, connect your account. That's fantastic. Deploy the application, just call Vercel. All right, let's just run Vercel and see what happens. Would you like to set up? Yes. On my project. It's not an existing project. What's your project's name? Let's just call it Assistify. It's in this directory, and now it's uploading. That was pretty quick. Auto-detected project settings, build, dev, port, install. Yeah. Output. No, I don't want to modify those settings. Okay, link to this. It added some configuration there, and it looks like it gave me a URL. It says it's deployed to production. Let's see what this looks like. So if we go to our Vercel app real quick. Oh, it was already up. And there we go. We got a hello world deployed of Next.js to Vercel. That was pretty easy. And let's set up continuous deployment. We already have this. Link your GitHub repository to Vercel, import it. Interesting. I want to do this through a GitHub action instead. So to hook up continuous deployment, can I do this through a GitHub action instead? I want to be able to log into GitHub and see all of my statuses, so that way I know. Right here is a GitHub action workflow in your project, correct? You already have that deployed to Vercel. We're going to need a Vercel token, npx Vercel prod. That looks pretty straightforward. Okay, so we're going to copy that, and then at the top of my project here, I already do have a fly deploy. Let's make a new file, and we'll call this verse-deploy. and we'll paste what we have there. And one thing I know inside this fly deploy YAML is a default of a working directory. So let's do that here. So we're going to set on our job is going to run this, but it's going to have a default working directory of Assistify UI. Checkout looks good. Setup node version 16, npm install, npm run build. I would think that we should do an npm run test. Did this come with test? Oh, it did not. We should have some kind of test in here. Can we add a simple test using Jest and React testing library to the project to run in our CI pipeline? Let's add these things right here. First, install Jest React testing library and related dependencies. Let's do that. It's saying npm. I think Yarn just works the same way. What we can do is we'll go into our cursor settings. And then if we look at our rules for AI, I'm going to add one for Node/JavaScript. And what I'm going to say is that use Yarn as a package manager. Let's save that. We're going to start a new chat and ask the same question. Hopefully it tells us how to do it in Yarn from now on. There we go, Yarn add, which is what it said on the command line, but this is just a convenience. So that way any other JavaScript or Node type questions I ask it are already in my preference. So we're going to add these. All right, and then let's follow its example of saying, let's create a simple hello world test. We're going to say source components. I guess we can do that. Let's say components. And then we're going to make a new file in there and we're going to call it hello world tsx. And we're just going to paste that in there. And then we're going to have a hello world test tsx. Let's do that. Hello world.test.tsx. And we're going to copy that in there too. Add scripts to run your test in your package JSON. So then if we go to our package JSON and we add a script for our test like it suggests, and I wonder if we just say yarn test, what happens? It's running Jest. Okay, so it does look like it's working. The tests are working. Let's commit that real quick. Let's look at our Vercel deploy. What I wanted to do is, I'm going to come over here. And let's say, can we switch this to Yarn? I didn't know if there was anything actually we needed to do for this, but yeah, it's just Yarn install, Yarn build, and everything is in that working directory. We're going to say run tests, test:/CI, and then we're going to deploy to Vercel. We need to get a Vercel token to do that. So let's go over to Vercel real quick. And whatever token I make, I'm just going to wipe away. So let's call this video token. Select scope, my projects. So one day we'll create that token, copy that token. And then what I want to go do is inside of, I need a secrets Vercel token inside of my repository over here. Go settings, secrets and variables, actions. We're going to put a new repository secret. It's just called Vercel token. We're going to add that. Let's make those quick changes. Change from npm to yarn. Git push. Let's see if we actually get a successful build. Deploy failed. Okay, why? The node isn't compatible with this version. Expected this, got that. Okay, so we have node version 16 set up here. That's one of the disadvantages of using AI assistants. It's a little behind on things, clearly, but I have checkout and stuff before here. So let's push that up one last time and see if it actually works. Update node version in Vercel deploy. Seems like it got a little further this time before you can even install, so that's good. Oh, but we got the issue in our test. After digging around a bit, I found other people had the same error that I was experiencing trying to set up Jest and run Next.js. So the easiest solution that I found was what this individual Pavili said. So we have yarn test and then yarn upgrade. So if we take a look at our project, I updated the test to say yarn upgrade, yarn test CI. Since this is only happening with our test, we ensure that the build, everything works fine with our frozen lock file, and then we're going to deploy to Vercel. But last thing that I noticed is if I come over here and we look at our most recent runs of our deploy to Vercel, I'm going to look at it. Although it is green, when we look at deploy to Vercel, it's not actually triggering it. It's just waiting on the command to run the yes. So I was looking at the Vercel website, and they have this right here. They talk about the steps, try to do this. I was able to do this locally. Let's go ahead and set this up as our deploy now. So we're going to have our env as this, and then we're going to say run. I believe these will work. I was trying these locally on the command line here a little bit ago, but we don't need to have all of our steps and run like this. So let's just make it so it's just one command after another. With these commands, what I want to do is if we go to the website we have now, so Assistify on Vercel app says Next.js and some other stuff. Let's add a minor change so we can verify the continuous deployment. If we go into our source, our app, and I imagine it's just the page here, we can see get started by editing. Yep, right here. Let's just add a P and we'll say hello world, save that. And then we should be able to push everything up. We have just our minor change to our deploy. And then we have our hello world change. We'll say update of action deploy for Vercel. And let's push that on up. And hopefully we'll get a successful build on our front end and then a deploy. And now let's watch our deployment run. Install dependencies, it's building the project, running our test now. We can see we have that yarn upgrade in there. That way make sure things are up to date and avoids that module error. Now deployed, it is doing the steps here, doing the build, and it looks like it's deploying and it's successfully deployed. Let's check out our app and make sure that it has a update. Although I don't see the change that I would have expected. Deployed it to a different app altogether. Interesting. I wonder how that, well, yeah, there's the hello world. Why did it, according to the Vercel documentation, we're going to add the project ID inside of the GitHub. So if we go over here, if we go into our project settings and we say secrets and variables, actions, we're going to say new repository secret, going to be that what we just copied. And then we're going to actually set the secret name to the Vercel project ID. We're going to save that. And if we look over here, it asked us to put some environment variables there. It's got a slightly different layout for the production build, which we just did a preview. Let's try this again. So what we're going to need are these environment variables here. We're going to put those right here. I don't think we have the org ID, so we're going to get rid of that. Now let's look at the steps that are different. We have Vercel poll, yes, environment should be production. Then we have run Vercel build dash prod. Okay. Then we have Vercel deploy pre-built dash prod. Okay. We also need to add the org ID as a secret. So let's do that real quick. And come over here to our settings, add one more secret. And we're going to say new repository secret. It's going to be that value. And it's going to be Vercel org ID, I believe. Vercel org ID. Yep. Let's add that secret. Then we have to add that new secret to our GitHub action. It looked like got a little help out there from our AI assistant. Vercel org ID. Let's push those up, and we're going to say add Vercel org ID to Vercel deployment. We're going to commit and push that on up, and then we're going to check out our build, and hopefully this time we have a success. We can see it's running again. It's trying to deploy to Vercel right now, generating the files it needs. Looks like it's deploying to the correct project. So that is cool. And that's interesting. Using those org IDs and the Vercel project IDs and the previews, you could have previews made for your pull requests. You could have secrets tied to the environment and deploy to different environments based upon either a branching strategy or something like that. So that's pretty cool. If we look over here, we see we have a Hello World deployed to our Assistify app. So that was a fun journey. To recap, what we did is we built a new Next.js application and used our OpenAI assistant through Cursor to help us deploy to Vercel. The initial deployment was pretty easy, but then we ran into some troubles trying to get the testing set up. After playing around a little bit, found that it seems to be an issue with the way the dependencies of Next.js and Jest are tied together. And what we ended up doing was doing a yarn upgrade inside of our build pipeline to fix that. Then we set up CI/CD, trying to make sure every push to our main branch actually updates our Vercel app. Thank you very much for joining me on this journey. I hope you enjoyed the video, and till next time, have a good one.